And I know this is your time. You'd like to keep us updated.
Yeah, we'll keep everybody posted on Pittsburgh and Cleveland, Miami, and the Jets. We're underway as New England decided to defer after winning the toss. And here's Hines on the run back, breaking a tackle and taking it past midfield. And down the sideline he goes. This is storybook. An opening kickoff return for Damar Hamlin. And this place is absolutely going wild.
Welcome to the Kelvin Dean Show. This is Kelvin Dean, and it is Wildcard weekend. And man, do we have a week for you. First off, Damar, there you go, brother. Out of the hospital from Cincinnati, in the hospital in Buffalo, doing so much better. What an array of support in Week 18. Man, when I did my Week 18 show, it was the Tuesday morning, because I do all my shows on Tuesday morning, and it was just Monday Night Football, and I was just devastated. I didn't know what to think. I thought the guy had passed away. I really did. I thought he passed away. Actually, he did. They had to restart his heart on the field. But man, hats off to the actual first responders. Let's just give them deserve all the clapping and all the praise, because if it wasn't for them, the kid would have probably died. And, you know, it turned out to be he's making this remarkable recovery. He was in critical condition on a breathing tube. We didn't know what to think on Tuesday morning, my last show. And so, you know, I was devastated. I'm speechless. I'm speechless on his recovery. Damar, Buffalo Bills, Mafia. Yeah. Let's get down to it, guys. We have Wildcard weekend. And Wildcard weekend is really amazing how they set it up. We have 2 games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday, and 1 game Monday Night Football. And the cool thing of it is, on Saturday Night Football, they're setting it up where on Saturday Night Football, right, we have the Chargers and the Jags. Well, the winner of that game plays the Kansas City Chiefs. And then the night, on Monday Night Football, right, that game, the winner of that game plays the Philadelphia Eagles. So it's kind of an exciting week how the NFL set all this up. And, the primetime games supposed to be a really good game. They're all great games, mind you. All 7 teams that are in the playoffs. Wow. Let's just talk about the first game on Saturday, right? We have the Seattle Seahawks making it in, right? They beat the Rams in OT. They were 16-16 at the end of regulation. Baker Mayfield throws an interception. Seattle comes down, kicks the field goal, and wins the game. Now, I thought the Rams were really going to win that game. So I was this close. But I also predicted that the Detroit Lions would beat the Green Bay Packers, which they did. And I thought that I almost called that as my lock of the week. My lock of the week last week was the Jags over the Titans, right? But I was really this close on saying that was a lock, and I felt so good that the Detroit Lions were going to beat the Green Bay Packers. They almost made it into the playoffs. I'm telling you something, watch out for the Detroit Lions next year. They are so young and all talented, and man, that defense came alive against the Packers. Came alive, and where were they during Carolina? That's the problem with youth. They're too young. Carolina just ran all over their defense, and if they didn't lose that game, they'd be in the playoffs. But hey, that's just the way it goes. First your money, then your clothes. So we have the first game. We have the Seattle Seahawks going into San Francisco. San Francisco, Brock Purdy, right? First 5 starts as a rookie, guys. He's won. First 5 starts. He has a passer rating of 113 plus. Wow. I mean, give it up to Kyle Shanahan. They lose their number one quarterback. Then they have their number two quarterback, which is Jimmy Garoppolo. He gets hurt. A rookie comes in, Brock Purdy, and they know how to coach him. And Brian Griese, hats off to Brian Griese. Seriously, the quarterback coach of the San Francisco 49ers, come on, man, really? Hats off to him, man, because he is just rocking the Casbah, man, rocking the Casbah, that's for sure. And, so we have the San Francisco 49ers hosting the Seattle Seahawks. There's some big point spreads in this game. I think the last point spread I saw was 6.5 points. San Francisco was giving to Seattle. And, it's just one of those games where, the Los Angeles Rams really played hard against the Seattle Seahawks. They took them into OT, and they only scored 19 points against the Rams. And if Seattle thought that the Rams defense was tough, wait until they play them on Saturday. Wait till they play the San Francisco 49ers on Saturday. Wow, it's like eyes wide open, man. You're going to be coming, San Francisco 49ers defense is going to be coming all over you. If you thought that it was hard to get the ball off, Geno Smith to get the ball off against the Rams, just think what it's going to be like against the 49ers. Think about that, geez. This is going to be an interesting game, very interesting game. Brock Purdy, Kittle has just come alive near the end of the season, and Brock and him are just hooking up. And the best mid-season trade ever, McCaffrey. Come on, guys. That guy has carried this team because we had Deebo Samuels hurt, we had Elijah Mitchell hurt, we had, so he just carried the team. And now for the playoffs, they have Elijah Mitchell, they have McCaffrey, they have Kittle, Ayuk, Jennings, they have, Deebo Samuels. They're just loaded with talent. Just think, who do you cover? You can't double cover Deebo. You can't double cover McCaffrey. You can't double cover anyone because they're all good. You double, Kittle, and what happens? You have all the other players. And so it's going to be a really hard game for Seattle to play. Very hard game. But they made it in the playoffs. They're the 7th seed. Hats off to Seattle Seahawks, man. Geno Smith, and I think that team did a great job. Penny got hurt, of course, again, but they had Walker coming in, and hats off to the Seattle Seahawks making it in the playoffs. Wow, that was a big wow, and they're no schmucks either. They aren't, and San Francisco better not take them lightly, because they can score. They got Derek Metcalf, Lockett. They got a good team, guys. They have a really good team. I think the San Francisco 49ers have a better team. So the first playoff game on Wildcard weekend, I'm giving it up to the San Francisco 49ers. Wow. And before I even go into the next game, we have 2 games on Saturday. Before I even go into the next game, give it up to Mixed Cocktail Hour, our infamous Ready Drink of the Week for Wildcard Weekend, giving it up to Mixed Cocktail Hour right now.
1.5 ounces of whiskey, 1/2 ounce lemon juice, boom, 1/2 ounce runny honey,
ginger beer.
Every team wants a pick six. Catch it, run down the field, and do your classic little dance. Right? That's what you want.
Oh, yum. Breaking in the new year with that drink with Scott and Tammy. Wow, man, I'm telling you something. Those guys are the best Mixed Cocktail Hour. Go to their show. Look at the link below. And, man, just tune into that show. I love their drinks. We always have a drink of the week, and that drink right there is so yummy. Man, I'm making that drink this weekend when I'm watching the games, that's for sure. And so, the second game, Dean Blagg, love you. I always have to say, Dean Blagg, love you, man. I mean, there you go, you know. This second game is going to be intense. It's only a 1-point difference. The Chargers are favored by 1 point over the Jacksonville Jags. It's in Jacksonville. Anyway, I'm going to give this upset special. Yes, the upset special is the Jacksonville Jags Saturday Night Football beating the Los Angeles Chargers. Wow, what an upset special. Sorry, LA Charger fans, man, but I really think that the Jacksonville Jags are going to upset you guys on Saturday Night Football. Wildcard weekend. Wow. This is going to be a wild weekend, right? Okay, we have Sunday. We have 3 games on Sunday. 3 games on Sunday, right? The first game on Sunday, the Buffalo Bills are hosting the Miami Dolphins. Now, I can tell you this. Tua is still in concussion protocol. He still isn't going. I don't really think Tua's going to play. They don't really have. They're working on their third-string quarterback. Man, Miami, they have all those weapons. They limped into playoffs. They're the 7th seed. It's Buffalo, man. Damar Hamlin, Buffalo, and they have so many weapons. I mean, Diggs. Yeah, I could go on and on and on. Cook and Singletary and Allen and their defense. Von Miller hopefully will be back. There's a lot of things, a lot of components with Buffalo, and the reason why they're so good. It's sort of like San Francisco. They're so deep in their defense that they just throw guys out there, so they're always fresh, And the Buffalo Bills are very, very similar to that. They're always bringing guys in and out, And, hey, Damar Hamlin was the second stringer for Buffalo, guys. Think about that. And look how good he is. And they even have guys behind him that are even good. Man, I'm telling you something. Watch out for Buffalo this year, that's for sure. They're playing the Miami Dolphins. They're at home Sunday morning. It's a 1 p.m. game. The Miami Dolphins, the way they've been playing, they don't have Tua. Oh, this is going to be a tough one for Miami, really tough. Hey, they've made it to the playoffs. Next year, they're going to have to figure out what they're going to do with their quarterback situation. I'm giving this one up to the Buffalo Bills to beat the Miami Dolphins in Buffalo on Sunday, Wildcard weekend. Next game on Wildcard weekend Sunday is the New York Football Giants going into Minnesota. Yeah, wow. This is going to be an exciting game. Remember how the Giants played Minnesota last time? They played them really hard. The Giants sat out all their first stringers, right? They were playing the third and fourth stringers, and they held Philadelphia to 22 points. They scored themselves 16 of those 22 points. Hey, Kenny Golladay scored his first touchdown, $44 million guy. 1 touchdown in 2 years. Anyway, great pickup on that one. Anyway, if he gets hot, that's an if, but who knows? We have Saquon Barkley, we have Jones, we have Minnesota in Minnesota. This is going to be such a tough game. I think this is going to probably this and the Jags game. I would say is probably going to be the most exciting games to watch. You have the New York Football Giants going into Minnesota and playing Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings. A lot of guys are calling the New York Football Giants to beat Minnesota. I think they do have a great team to beat Minnesota, but Minnesota's at home, and they're playing for pride. They have Cook, Madison, Thielen, Jefferson. I can go on and on, man. Great tight end, right? Hawkinson. And then you have Kirk Cousins. So, you have a lot of great players. You really have a lot of great players, guys. A lot of great players. I'm probably not even mentioning a few. And they're Peterson for the defense. He's always pulling something out of his hat. That defense is suspect. Sometimes they let some big plays up, and then they play some big plays down the stretch. They're the first team to win 11 games, one-score games in a season. Wow, that's pretty impressive. They're just in for it into the game at the end of the season. They were just every single game they're in that game. You know what I mean? They're always in the game, and that's important. That's important. This is going to be a tough game for both teams. It's going to be a fun game to watch for number one. Very fun game to watch. But the winner of the New York Football Giants Minnesota game in Minnesota goes giving it up to, yes, Jeff Johnson, the Minnesota Vikings will beat the New York Football Giants in Minnesota, giving it up to the Minnesota Vikings for sure. The next game we have Sunday Night Football. Sunday Night Football, the Baltimore Ravens going into Cincinnati. Cincinnati is just too hot for words right now. Them and the Kansas City Chiefs, both very, very hot teams at this moment in time. Their defense are just playing out of their minds. Their offense, Joe Burrows is just clicking, and they don't even know if Lamar Jackson's going to be back. Now they sat a bunch of guys this last week. It's just ugly. They play ugly. I don't know if Lamar Jackson's going to be back. The reports are his knee is still swollen. I think even if he comes back, he's been out more than a month now. I don't think the rust there, what happened to Lamar when they sat him that 1 year when he had that MVP season. They were one or two seed that year, and they were sat out, and they sat the team out the last game of the season, so they had a couple weeks off, and that was just disastrous for the Baltimore Ravens. Disastrous. So, and I think it's going to be the same with this one. Cincinnati Bengals is a much better team than the Baltimore Ravens. If Lamar Jackson does play, think about it. His knee is still swollen, right? What does Lamar Jackson bring to the team? His excitement to make a play, run, and get out of, and then also pass as well. But, he's coming, like I said, he has a month off. I don't think they have an answer for the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't think they have an answer. This right here is my lock of the weekend. My lock game, best bet, lock of the weekend is the Cincinnati Bengals over the Baltimore Ravens in Cincinnati. Sorry, Baltimore Ravens fans, my nephew and everything. Sorry, buddy. Sorry, but the Bengals will beat the Baltimore Ravens in Cincinnati. Now, guys, we have Monday Night Football. Monday Night Football is huge, guys. Huge, huge, and huge. We have the Dallas Cowboys, right? We have the Dallas Cowboys going into Tampa Bay. Now, Dallas played terrible last week. Terrible against the Commanders. Commanders beat them, and they started their first stringers. And Jalen Hurts, he no touchdowns, 200 yards. His passer rating was terrible. His passing percentage was terrible. Of course, hello. He's coming off of a sprained shoulder, guys. A sprained shoulder. What do you expect from him? He needs another week off. I don't know, man. That their team looked just flat. And now you have the Dallas Cowboys going into Tampa Bay, playing the Tampa Bay Bucs. Dallas looked terrible. They just did. And, which Tampa Bay team's going to show up? Is it the Tampa Bay Bucs team that Brady threw how many touchdowns to Evans? 3 touchdowns? Is that team going to show up? Or is the other team going to show up that can barely score any points? That's the only bad thing about Tampa Bay. You don't know. You don't know if they're going to score, if who's going to show up. Now, I know Tom Brady's going to show up, but will his talent show up? That's the whole thing. You just don't know. It's that way. It's up in the air. This is a tough game to call because both teams are not really doing too well near the end of the year. They just aren't. I predicted that Tampa Bay would lose to the Falcons the last game of this season. Well, they played Brady. They played him in the first half of that game, and he looked good. But then they took him out, and then Falcons came back and they won. So, and then the Dallas Cowboys lose their last game of the season. But there was a difference between that. The Dallas Cowboys played all their first stringers. They took them out when I think it was like the third quarter, halfway through the third quarter or the fourth quarter. They finally took out the starters because they knew that the game was over. And Dak Prescott once again is throwing up interceptions, pick sixes. I mean, wow. It's just something about that. I don't know why. They have one of the best teams in the National Football League, and they look terrible. Wow. And they look terrible against the Commanders. Think about that one. Commanders, who are they starting? Heineke, Wentz. I mean, think about it. Wow. This game is a toss-up game. Let's throw the coin up. Boom. Up. There you go. No, I don't pick games like that. This game is going to be a tough game to call. I'm a Tom Brady fan, that's for sure. It's in Tampa, that's for sure. But it's the Dallas Cowboys. I think the Dallas Cowboys have a better team. I think Dallas goes in there and just do their business. Dallas will beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Tampa, giving it up to the Dallas Cowboys. They will be playing the Philadelphia Eagles then the next game, which will be the divisional game. And after the divisional games, then we have the championship games of both leagues. And then 2 weeks after that, we have the Super Bowl. Wow. This is fun. What a season this has been. Giving it up to Mixed Cocktail Hour. Thank you so much, Dean Blagg. And ready? You always have to give it up to Mixed Cocktail Hour.
3.
Welcome.
Yeah, where's Tammy?
Wow. I mean, I love those guys. Look at the link below. Subscribe to them. And mind you, I am giving away Mixed Cocktail Hour. Came up with some great stuff to give away. Ready, guys? Now, you have to comment on my show. You have to comment, right? And you have to give me your best bet, right? Your best bet for this Wildcard weekend. And the person who comments and gives me the best bet and that team wins, you will get, You know what that is? That is a Super Bowl winning shirt from the Los Angeles Rams when they won the Super Bowl. Oh, yeah. That's what you're going to get. Thank you, Mixed Cocktail Hour, for giving us those shirts. Well, I have 3 shirts to give away, guys. So comment, give me your best bet, and you will win a shirt. It's a Super Bowl shirt, special Super Bowl shirt for when the Los Angeles Rams won the Super Bowl last year. Okay, guys, loving life large. Damar, love you, brother. Congratulations on your recovery. Congratulations, man. Keep it up. Keep it up. Guys, thank you so much. Tune in next week. Divisional playoffs, right? And this week is going to be amazing. Thank you so much, Calvin Dean.